A Wisconsin woman appears in court after she's charged with murdering and decapitating her lover. Law and Crime Daily's Sierra Gillespie joins us now with the latest developments.
The same woman who told investigators they would have fun trying to find all the dismembered body parts of her victim is now ordered a competency hearing before court proceedings can continue. It was 24-year-old Shad Thyrion's mother who found his decapitated head in a bucket at the bottom of her stairway. Investigators say Thyrion's lover, 24-year-old Taylor Shabiznis, is responsible for his murder, sexual assault, and dismemberment. Shabiznis appeared in court virtually on Thursday as her defense attorney motioned for a competency evaluation. But if you blinked, you missed her.
Ms. Shabiznis isn't here today. She doesn't seem to be engaging directly with the court. I can't see her face. I can see her, but she's not looking into the camera. Now she is. All right.
Instead, Shabiznis stood in a cell at the Brown County Jail with her arms crossed. She's being held on a $2 million cash bond. Last month, Shabiznis told investigators she went, quote, crazy when she began choking Thyrion during sex. While she didn't plan to kill him, she said she was, quote, already this far and liked it. After he was dead, she performed sexual acts on Thyrion's body. She later dismembered the remains, putting a leg and foot in her vehicle, but leaving the victim's head behind in a bucket. She told investigators, quote, I can't believe I left the head, though. She also told investigators that she had become paranoid after smoking meth and shooting up trazodone. Shabiznis's attorney requested a competency evaluation, saying he's concerned about her ability to assist in her own defense.
Who's going to represent Ms. Shabiznis in this very important case? And it's getting a little bit confusing. She's making some of these choices to allow it to be confusing on her own. And I'm satisfied that that too gives the court concern or reason to doubt the defendant's competence.
The results of that competency evaluation will be discussed at an upcoming hearing set for April 4th. Shabiznis is set to appear again in court next week on March 22nd for her adjourned initial appearance. Reporting in Green Bay, Sierra Gillespie, Law and Crime Network.
All right, LA County Deputy Public Defender Philip Dubé and co-host Terry Austin are back to break down this bizarre case of death and dismemberment. Terry, walk us through competency. How will it affect the case if she goes to trial and any potential plea deals?
Well, this is truly a bizarre case, and under Wisconsin law, if she lacks the substantial mental capacity to understand those proceedings and to assist in her own defense, she could be deemed incompetent, and that will mean there will be no trial until she's deemed competent. So she will be in a mental institution. They will be taking tests. They will try to determine whether or not she's competent. We've seen this before in Idaho, obviously, the Lori Daybell Vallow case, where she has now been deemed incompetent for over 180 days. So we don't know how long this will last if she's deemed incompetent. But if she comes back competent and they go to trial at some point, there's always the defense of insanity.
All right, Philip, let's talk about that defense, because in my mind, there has to be an insanity defense here, right? And again, I don't think there's any way the prosecution can argue against that, or can they?
Well, it depends. You know, the standard in Wisconsin is that they have to prove, or the defense has to show, A, that she in fact has a mental illness, a mental defect. And typically that has to be a settled psychotic spectrum disorder separate from a drug-induced psychosis. So you can't just get loaded and high on meth and opioids, commit a crime, and then cry insanity. You have to have a true settled mental illness independent of any drug-induced psychosis that you might have. But once you show that, then she has to show that she lacked the capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct or to conform to the law. Well, let's assume she can make out the fact that she has a settled psychotic spectrum disorder. Her problem is that she was able to adequately clean up the scene afterwards, dispose of the head, clean up. So it clearly shows that she could appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct and could otherwise conform to the law.
All right, maybe this isn't as black and white as we originally thought, but of course we'll get more updates on Taylor Schabusiness as the case continues.